What's cracking, guys? Bruce Matson, your host of the show, Metric Scout Fantasy Football. As you know, we had our top 4 of the college football playoff released today, and there's a lot of controversy about that. A lot of people chattering it up on the social medias, the Twitters, and everything else. I've been watching that. I've been watching everyone's opinions and really thinking this through. And right now, in the top 4 for the college football playoff, they have listed Georgia at 1, Alabama 2, Oregon 4, Michigan State 3, with Ohio State, Cincinnati on the outside looking in at 5 and 6. What the controversy is at for a lot of people is Cincinnati being undefeated and not in the college football bracket right now. And honestly, as a fan, that does kind of suck because you kind of want them to compete with the big boys, considering they've been good all year, undefeated, beating Notre Dame and all that stuff. If you're thinking from a booking perspective, if you're thinking from a marketing standpoint, I think they nailed this on the button with Georgia and Alabama obviously having to be in there. And you put Michigan ahead of Ohio State. We got Big Ten play. This is going to shake this all out between those two teams. One of those teams are more than likely going to be in there unless they both start losing games. Oregon's an interesting story, but they've been up and down all season, lost to Stanford. They could play their way out of this situation, and Cincinnati's there 8-0 at the 6th spot. Cincinnati's had some tight games with some scrub teams. They haven't been blowing some teams out lately. They had a tight one with Navy, and Tulane was a little bit tight for our liking. It's not like they were hanging 70 on them. That is a little bit concerning, and that is also not good when it comes to their resume because they really got to sell out between now and the end of the year. So really, this is an indicator to them that they need to kick it in gear and start blowing out teams. Another thing, if you put Cincinnati in at 4-3 here in the bracket, it's going to be hard to take them out, especially if you got somebody like Oklahoma, Ohio State. If you got some other teams here that really have an impressive finish to the season, and you want to put them in with the 4 top teams. Say you got 4 good Power 5 teams you want in there. They earned it. They played well. They got a sexy performance at the end of the year. You can't take Cincinnati out. They're undefeated. They haven't lost a game. You just can't take them out because they're projected to win out for the rest of the year. Their schedule shakes out like that. And that's the reason why they're at 6, because they haven't really played anybody other than Notre Dame. That is impacting the decision for this. But if you put them in now, you can't take them out. They're stuck there forever. This does not mean that Cincinnati can't get in there. If Oregon loses, we got Ohio State and Michigan State. Both those teams could lose another game. Michigan State's not bulletproof. Ohio State's not bulletproof. The Big Ten schedule, we're getting in the thick of it. That's going to shake itself out. Georgia, Alabama, SEC schedules. I'm not looking to see Georgia lose. I don't see that happening. Alabama's already lost. I don't see them losing another game. But something's going to happen. I think if chaos happens, we could see Cincinnati in there. Honestly, from a fan perspective, I'm not interested in seeing Oregon play another game. Losing to Stanford, had some tight games against teams they shouldn't have tight games against. Would not be surprised if they lose another game. And honestly, we're not going into the college football playoff with these 4 teams. It's going to be shaken up. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's Oklahoma and another team. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Oklahoma and Ohio State, Oklahoma and Michigan State. I would not be surprised. Or if it's Oklahoma and Cincinnati. I do not foresee Oregon making it to the college football playoff. If I have a hot take from this, it's Oregon not being in it. I could make a case that it's actually more of a sell to have Cincinnati in college football playoff over Oregon because there's a mystique factor there. They're undefeated. They've had 2 good seasons in a row, and really, I could make the case that I could put them in over Oregon, but Oregon's got their chance to really prove themselves here at the end of the year. But right now, I think they hit the nail on the head for the brackets. I just think it's just not going to stick this way. I think things are just going to play out. I think Cincinnati is going to have the opportunity to work their way in. If they blow out everybody, if they murder all the teams that are in front of them between now and the end of the year. They haven't been murdering everybody this season. They've had some tight ones that has gotten in the committees, their back of their mind, and now they had to think them over. Michigan State's in at 3. Ohio State, we'll get that played out here soon. So we'll know here in a bit. But there's a chance neither Big Ten team's in it. There's a good chance for that to happen. Ohio State could lose to Michigan. Michigan State could lose another game. And next thing you know, you got Oklahoma, Oregon, or Cincinnati. And I could see that happen. And Michigan could get in there too. I think it's going to be crazy between now and the end of the year. I don't think it's something we should really be arguing about, getting hyped up about, because there's going to be a lot of changes. It's been a weird, crazy season. I mean, every year's kind of weird and crazy. We're seeing an upset about every week. We're seeing at least 1 to 3 to 4 upsets every week. We've seen some last week, the week prior. Things are going to shake out, and we're going to be arguing about this top 4 all season long until the games are played. And really, I like the controversy. I soak it up, and I want to see it shake out. This is my soap opera, really. Watching these college football teams make the playoffs and see who gets in and who gets out, and watching people cry when their team doesn't make it in. I'm a Ohio State fan, but honestly, I'm not in love with the team right now. I don't think they're a top-tier team compared to prior seasons with them, prior years. And I would not be surprised if they don't make it. And I'm watching Michigan State play. Ken Walker's been fun to watch, but I just don't think they have the dynamic to really compete with the top-tier teams. Oregon has not been that great. And Cincinnati is fun. They're sexy. They're the small school. They're a new kid on the block. But with them keeping it tight with those scrub teams, that's a bit of a concern. However, Oregon, you can make that case. They've been keeping it tight with some teams they shouldn't have been. Ohio State did that at the start of the year. They had a good outing against Penn State. Remember, they lost to Oregon. They almost lost to Minnesota in the start of the season. And then they crushed some bad schools. Michigan State is undefeated right now. They earned that. They beat Michigan. They earned that 3 spot. But this Big Ten schedule, we're getting in the thick of it. And we're going to have to see what happens. I guarantee we're not rolling in to the college football playoff with those 4 teams. I guarantee it's going to be different. I guarantee it's going to be shaken up. And I guarantee there's controversy. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you want these brackets to look like. What do you want them to look like right now? And what do you think they will look like between now and the end of the season? I want to thank you for watching the show, sticking with me. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. Every subscription matters. It fuels me to keep putting out this content. I also got the goal of hitting 1,000 subscribers between now and the end of the season. We're almost there. We're moving pretty quickly. If you can hit that subscribe button, it'd mean a lot. Again, I want to thank you, and I'll catch you next time.